Hello, and welcome to Chapter 11. Today we're going to be Lesson 10. Today we're going to be talking about converting metric units of length. So we've already talked about customary. Customary is what we use in the United States. Metric is what the rest of the world and the science community uses. Okay, so for metric units of length, today we're going to be kind of looking at those a little closer. The metric system, as you'll see, makes a lot more sense because all we're doing is moving the decimal around because we're multiplying or dividing by powers of 10. Remember, powers of 10 are like 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, and so on. So for example, 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So what did I do? I divided by 100. 1, 2. Remember when we talked about that when we're dividing by 100? That means I'm moving my decimal point back 2 spots. Or if I said I have 1 meter, how many centimeters do I have? Well, I know there's 100, so I need to multiply by 100. 1, 2. 1 times 100 is 100. 1 times 100 is 100, right? 100 centimeters. So if I said how many are in 5 meters? Well, I'd take 5 times 100. And remember, like the number 5, always there's an invisible decimal because to the right of the ones place is that decimal. And sometimes it's helpful for me to know, think about money. Like I could say $5 or I could say $5, right? And so that decimal is always there. Like if I'm writing 123, that decimal is right there. But do I need to write it if there's not any decimal places after it? No, I don't. So anyways, that was a long rant. Sorry, I'm going to try and make this video shorter. So let's get going. One of the largest recorded pythons measured at 7.3 meters. 7 3/10 of a meter long. What is the length of the python in centimeters? So to convert 7.3 meters to centimeters, 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. We need to multiply it by 100, right? So when I'm multiplying something by 100, I'm just moving its decimal 2 spots to the right. So it's going to be 730, right? If you aren't comfortable with that, which, I mean, we should be, right? You can always multiply out. Oh yeah, look, count the number of zeros in the factors. Okay, anyways. 3 times 0, 0. 3 times 0, 0. 3 times 1 is 3. Add a 0. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 1 is 7. Okay, so I'd have 7300. 7300. Yeah, I should have lined those up. 7300. I have 1 spot to the right of the decimal. Bring 1 back. 730. So 730 is how many centimeters are in 7.3 meters. 730, a python is 730 centimeters long. Okay, so here's our little dealio here. A centimeter is equal to 10 millimeter. A millimeter is about how thick a dime is. So that's pretty thin, right? A centimeter is about the width of your pinky finger. Okay. A meter is the height from the floor to the doorknob. Meters are real close. We have some meter sticks at school, but meters are really close to a yardstick. So those big, longer rulers that we have at school, that's about a meter. Some of them are meters, some of them are yards, different, but about that high. It will give you an idea. And a kilometer is the same as 6 blocks. Okay, so our kilometer is similar to like a mile. It's not the same, similar. Okay, so let's keep going. Rashada has 50 dominoes. Each domino is 4 centimeters long. She lines them up end to end as shown. How many meters is the line of dominoes? So I just have to do 50 times 4. 0, 20, 200 centimeters. So if I wanted to convert 100 centimeters to meters. Oh yeah, because look at that. That's tricky. They gave us information in centimeters and then they want our answer in meters. Since 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Okay, we need to divide 200 by 100. So 200 divided by 100 equals 2. So 200 centimeters equals 2 meters. So the line of 50 dominoes is 2 meters long. Okay, complete. I can't read it. Oh, there we go. Okay. 5 meters is the same as blank centimeter. Well, I know 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So that means I need to do 5 times 100 to get 500 centimeters. So 5 meters equals to 500 centimeters. 9,000 meters equals how many kilometers? Well, I know that 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. So that shows me I need to divide 9,000 divided by 1,000. So remember, I can do 9 divided by 1 is 9. And then when I'm doing this division, we did this way back at the beginning of the year, but we look at how many zeros are left over. This one has 3 and this one has 3, so they cancel each other out. Okay, and really if I say 1,000 times what equals 9,000, you're going to tell me 1,000 times 9. Okay, so we can check it with using multiplication. So 9,000 meters equals 9 kilometers. Okay, here's the big daddy one. Okay, so 300 centimeters. We know that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So that means 300 centimeters is going to equal 3 meters, right? Each one I divided by 100, so it's going to be 3 meters. Okay, so there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So that means 500 millimeters. I need to divide it by 10, right? To go from 10 to 1, I divided by 10. So I need to take 500 divided by 10. 5 divided by 1 is 5. Now I'm seeing, are there any zeros I can cancel out? 1 and 1. So it's going to be 50 centimeters because there's 1 left over that I couldn't cancel out. So it's got to go to my answer. 1.7 kilometers equals how many centimeters? So I know 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Okay, so let's do that first. So 1.7 kilometers, I need to multiply it by 1,000. So if I take 1.7 and I times it by 1,000, that means I'm moving my decimal 3 spots to the right. 1, 2, 3. So I'm getting the answer of 1,700 meters would be the same as 1.7 kilometers. Notice the 1 and the 7 don't change because we're just changing the location of the decimal point. So now I know that 1 meter, let's do that. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So 1,700 meters, so I did times by 100. I need to multiply this by 100 to figure out how many centimeters. Okay, so again, I have 1,700. I need to move that decimal 2 more spots to the right. It's right here. 2 more spots to the right. So now I'm going to get 1700, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to go back in and put my commas in. 1, 2, 3, comma. That's nuts. 170,000 centimeters. So if you think about your pinky being 1 centimeter, and you have to go 6 blocks using only your pinky, it probably is going to take 170,000 centimeters. Okay, a little bit easier. 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters, so 2 kilometers is going to be 2,000 meters. Okay, 6 centimeters equals how many millimeters? We know 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So that means 6 centimeters is going to be 6 times 10, 60. Okay, now I'm sure they're going to get tricky. No, centimeters to meters. There's 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So to go from small to big, we divide. So I need to take 238 and divide it by 100. Okay, so remember our trick that we talked about. 238 divided by 100. This decimal is here. When I'm dividing something by 100, I move it 2 spots to the left. So this is going to be 2.38 meters. And please notice, 238, 238. My numbers don't change that aren't 0, right? 3, 3, 1, 7, 1, 7, 5, 5, 2, 2, 238, 238. They don't change because all we're doing is moving your decimal point around because we're multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. We did that at the beginning of the year, and that's all we're doing. Okay, so let's look here. 2,400 millimeters equals how many meters? Okay, so this one we got to do a double conversion. Okay, I'm going to go from millimeters to centimeters and then centimeters over to meters. Okay, so I have so I know that there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So what do I do to go from millimeters to centimeters? I divide by 10. 10 divided by 10 equals 1. Okay, so I need to take 2,400 and divide it by 10. Remember, dividing goes to the left, so I need to move it 1 spot over, so that would be 240 centimeters. Okay, now I know that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. Okay, so 100 divided by 100 is equal to 1. So that means I need to do 240 divided by 100 to get my meters. Okay, so if I'm going to divide by 100, again, I'm going to the left, and now this time I'm going 2 spaces because 2 zeros. Before I went 1 space because 1 0. Okay, so now my decimal point's going to end up here, so that is 2.4 meters. 2.4 meters. Okay, so lastly here, now I have to go from millimeters to centimeters to meters. So I got a 3-stepper again. Okie dokie. Erase my work here. If you need it, just scroll back in the video and you can pause. So 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. Okay, so to go from 10 to 1, I divide it by 10. So I have to take 175 divided by 10, which is moving my decimal point back 1 spot. So that'd be 17.5. And now I'm in centimeters. Okay, I know 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. To go from 100 to 1, I divide it by 100. Okay, so that means I need to divide 17.5 by 100. So I need to move it to the decimal to the left 2 spots because 2 zeros. 1, 2. Okay, so now I'm getting the number 0.175, and that is how many meters there are. Okay, let's keep going. When completed, the tunnel will be 1,500 meters long. What is the length in kilometers? Okay, 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. How did I go from 1,000 to 1? I divided it by 1,000. So I need to divide our 1,500 meters by 1,000. So I'm going to bring my decimal back 1, 2, 3 spots. And that's going to get me 1.5 kilometers. Okay, if you really want to do it, 1,500 divided by 1,000. Let me show you what you get. 1 divided by 1,000, no. 15 divided by 1,000, no. 150 divided by 1,000, no. 1,500 divided by 1,000, yeah, 1 goes in there, minus 1,000. I'm left with 500. Add a decimal and bring down a 0. 5,000 divided by 1,000 is 5. Minus 5,000 equals 0. So again, you get 1.5. My way was a lot faster than writing it all out, but if you forget what you're supposed to do, by all means, write it out and do the math. Just it gets tricky with all the zeros, especially when we're multiplying. That gets really tricky. So there we go, 1.5 kilometers. The depth of a swimming pool is 8.5 meters. What is half of the depth in millimeters? Explain. So first I need to do 8.5 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 5. Bring my decimal up. 5 divided by 2 is 2. Minus 4 equals 1. Bring down a 0. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, so I'm working with 4.25 meters, and I want to change it to millimeters. Okay, so first I'm going to go to centimeters. 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So really I should kind of write it the same way that I've been. Let me get my eraser here. So 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. How did I go from meter to a centimeters? I multiplied by 100. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this by 100, which I know if I'm multiplying something by 100, I'm making it bigger. 2 spaces to the right, 1, 2. So I'm going to get 425 centimeters, but I want millimeters. Okay, so I have 425 centimeters is what I'm working with, and I need to go to millimeters. Well, I know that there are, in 1 centimeter, there is 10 millimeters. How do I go from centimeters to millimeters? I multiply by 10. Okay, so I'm going to take this number, multiply it by 10, means I'm moving my decimal 1 spot to the right to make it an even bigger number. So there are 4,250 millimeters in 4.25 centimeters. 4,250 millimeters. Explain? I did really nice work, so I don't have to. Okay, here we go. I've been talking a million miles a minute. I suppose if you needed to, you could watch this video on YouTube and slow the speed down. That might be too slow, though. Okay, the blank is an appropriate unit to measure the length of a ladybug. Ladybugs are tiny. I don't even know that they're the width of a finger, so I'm going to go with millimeters because that is the smallest unit of metric measurement. Okay, there might be a small nanometer or something like that, but that's the smallest one we're talking about. Let's go with that. Okay. The blank is an appropriate unit to measure the distance between 2 cities. Okay, we're going to want the biggest unit of system, which units of measurement in the metric system, which is the kilometer. Okay. The blank is a decimal system of measurement, and that is the metric system. Okay, it's called a decimal system because all you do is move the decimals. All right, Kaylin is reading a book. The book's thickness is 25 millimeters. How many of these books would fit on a shelf that is 1 meter long? Okay, so 25 millimeters is 2.5 centimeters, right? Because I'm dividing it by 10. Okay, so how many would fit into, so we know that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So if I take 100 and divide it into 2.5 lengths, then, because I know that 1 meter is 100, I want to know how many will fit in. So I have to move the decimal point once. Move the decimal point once. Okay, 25 goes into 100 4 times, minus 100. Bring down the 0. My decimal's here now. 40. 40 books would fit in there. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.